Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. This is Engineer Fazli Karim, and I'm your teacher for the subject of Civil Engineering Materials. The course code of the subject is CE102, and this is lecture number 7 for the 7th week, particularly for the students of second semester, first year. The current lecture is about brick masonry. Here on the screen you can see that I have mentioned my email address, and this is for the purpose that if you feel any difficulty, so that you may access me to ask any kind of question. You can access me regarding any kind of question through WhatsApp group or Zoom. Course objectives: to familiarize students about the characteristics of construction material used in civil engineering projects, to develop skills for identification and selection of suitable construction materials for civil engineering projects. I have recommended 2 books for you guys, that if you want to study current lecture yourself, then you can study current lecture by using these 2 recommended books. One is Principle of Material Science and Engineering, and the other is Fundamental of Building Construction, Material and Methods. So in today's lecture we will be talking about brick masonry. So what is brick? Brick is basically a masonry unit usually available in the form of rectangular blocks and having a standard dimension of about 9-inch length, 4.5-inch width and 3-inch thickness. So masonry is basically the construction of building units bonded together with mortar, and the building units which are basically combined by using various types of mortar like cement mortar and lime mortar, are basically stones, bricks or precast concrete blocks. There are usually 2 types of masonry. One is brick masonry and the other is stone masonry. Stone masonry will be taught to you guys later on, but at the moment we would like to stick to only brick masonry. So brick masonry is basically the art of laying bricks and mortar in a proper systematic manner to give homogeneous mass which can withstand forces without disintegration. And a pic of the brick has been shown with visible frog at the center of the brick, with a trademark as Supreme. Here the brick masonry versus stone masonry have been shown. Here you can see that the bricks are basically united by using cement mortar, and here the stones have been united by using cement mortar. Important terms used in masonry. Course in masonry. Each horizontal layer of bricks in the masonry work is basically called a course in masonry. What is stretcher? A brick laid with its length horizontal and parallel with the face of the wall or other masonry member is called a stretcher, and a course in which all the bricks are laid as stretcher is called a stretching course or stretcher course. Here you can see that a standard size of brick at the center of which a depression has been shown, which is called the frog. These are basically the edges of the brick, which are called iris, arises, and this is basically the stretcher. This side of the brick is called the stretcher face, and this is the end of the brick, which is called the header face, and this is the bottom or the underside, which is called the bed. And here you can see that if the bricks used in the masonry work in such a way that that the structure or side of the brick is visible in face, then it is called structure course. But if the brick used in the masonry work in such a way that the end or head of the brick is visible in the face of the wall, then it is called header course. So this is structure course and this is header course. And these are various type of joints. These are called the bed, and these are basically horizontal joints of mortar which are called the bed joints, and these are called the vertical joints which are called the perpends. Header, as I have told you, that if the bricks used in the masonry work in such a way that the end of the brick is visible, then basically it is called header course. You can see that this is header course, and this is basically the end of the brick visible in face of the wall. Here you can see that this is header course and this is structure course. Here all the bricks have been laid as a header, and either all the bricks have been laid as a structure. Arises, I have already told you that these are basically the edges formed by the intersection of the plane surfaces of brick are called the arises, and they should be sharp and free from damage. Here you can see that these are basically the edges. Bed, the lower surface of brick when laid flat is known as bed. I have already discussed this picture in the previous slide. This is called header. Bed, which is bottom, structure face, arises, frog. Bed, it is the surface of stone perpendicular to the line of pressure. It indicates the lower surface of brick or stone in each course. Bed joint, if the joint is parallel to the bed of the brick or stone in a course, then it is termed as bed joint. Here you can see that course means any horizontal layer of bricks, a course, and the bed joint is basically horizontal joints between the courses. These are basically horizontal joints between the courses which are called the bed joints, and these are basically the vertical joints which are called head joints, but these vertical joints are also called the perpends. So the horizontal joints are called the bed joints and the vertical joints are called the head joints or the perpends. Here you can see that the vertical joints separating the bricks in either length or cross direction are known as the perpends. These are the vertical joints which are called the perpends. Here you can see that these are horizontal joints which are called bed joints, and these are vertical joints which are called the perpends. And this is basically structure course where all the bricks have been used as a structure, and this is header course where all the bricks have been used as a header course. Bond is the arrangement of bricks or stones in each course so as to ensure the greatest possible interlocking and to avoid the continuity of vertical joint in two successive courses, both on the face and in the body of a wall. Various bonds in brick masonry have been shown, like English bond, Flemish bond, etc., but all these types of joints will be taught you guys inshallah in the next lecture. Brick closure and brick beds. What is brick closure? The brick closure is basically the portion of the brick which is obtained by cutting the brick basically across the length. There are four types of basically closure. One is queen closure, king closure, beveled closure, and metered closures. Various closure, all these types of closure have also been shown here. What is brick bed? Although detail about these things have already been given in the next slides. What are brick beds? Brick beds are basically the part or piece or portion of the brick which is obtained by cutting the brick across the bed. There are four types of brick beds: 3/4 bed, half or square bed, quarter bed, and beveled bed. As I have already told you that each horizontal layer of bricks laid in mortar in a brickwork is called a course. Here you can see that each separate layer of brick masonry is called a course. This layer is course, this one, and all these are called courses. Brick bed, as I have already told you that the bricks, the portion of the brick which is obtained by cutting the brick across the width is basically brick bed. This is basically 3/4 bed, this is square bed, and this is quarter bed. This is basically king closer, beveled closer, and metered closer. These are just the portion of the bricks, which are obtained by cutting the brick across the lengths. This is basically the same thing as above. Beveled closer, and this is basically bull nose. Bull nose is basically a brick with rounded corners is called a bull nose. These bricks are used to create curved edges to brick or encaping walls. Here you can see the use of single bull nose bricks, which are basically used to produce the round corners of the steps. The same thing have been shown just for your information. Frog. It is basically a depression in the face of a brick, but it is very important to note that the total volume of the frog shall not exceed 20% of gross volume of a brick. And what is the purpose of providing frog? It basically reduces the weight of the brick just to get lightweight bricks. It basically used to emboss manufacturer's name or just a trademark, and it basically provide a key joint between mortar and brick. It's basically a depression where the mortar will make a shear key. Bed masonry has already been explained. What is bake and baking in masonry? The inner surface of the masonry structure, like a wall that is not exposed, is called bake, and the material that is constructed in the bake is called a baking. Face and facing in masonry. The exterior surface of the masonry structure, like a wall that is exposed outside, is called a face. The material that is forming the face is defined as facing. Hurting of masonry structure. The interior portion between the baking and facing of the masonry structure form the hurting. And these are some tools used in brick masonry, like trowel, plumb bob, hammer, spade level, mason square, and steel tape. Inshallah, this lecture will be continued. Thank you very much.